So I have another guest on the line here that I'm going to kind of pull in, and we're going to go ahead and move them from the green room into our space here, so and then we can actually have a conversation. So let's go ahead and pull in Melon. Melon, how you doing there? I remember
Yvonne,
you.
how are
You can
you,
hear me.
sir?
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
And I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me?
you.
All right.
This is good. Yeah, I say that to Melon. I say that for a reason, right? Because Melon, she met Melon January 4th, right? So not too long ago. So, and she actually showed up on our first show, being someone who isn't doing Scrum all the time, who's just kind of getting started, right? And had the guts to show up on the first show. But when she showed up on the first show, her audio and video wouldn't work for us, even though she was in class with me all day. I mean, she was literally with me in class all day, gave me all kinds of problems all day during that class. Video had no problems, audio had no problems, but when it came to the show, all kinds of problems. That being said, that's good. So, Melon, you have a question. What's going on? Oh, Melon, now you don't have no. Oh, Melon, you went out on me. Yeah, I got you here. I was hearing you just a second ago. Let's see. And I can't pull you anyplace. I got you right here. Am I gonna have to come back to you, Melon? Still don't hear you. Let's see. I
Uh,
look out here. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. All right. Um, Brand new to Scrum.
Yes, ma'am.
I have not done anything other than observe and taken your class.
Mm-hmm.
I have reached out to the current Scrum Master on our team
Yeah.
and have already committed to facilitate the ceremonies in the next couple weeks. I want to know, and I've never, aside from Scrum, I've never put myself out there to like lead anything or be in charge of anything. I've always taken the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Just, just my. So how can I keep it very simple, basic, very efficient, while still having the team look at me in a different set of lenses and me push past this first milestone for me, and build a little confidence. I know I got your last, what got me to this point was your last
Mm-hmm.
um advice on, just get out there and just
Yeah.
do it, while still hopefully getting feedback, honest feedback, because I don't want them to not to hold back and not really be honest with me because they don't want to hurt my feelings, because we're friends
Mm-hmm.
and coworkers. But I
Mm-hmm.
really want to, I probably won't have all this reservation if I was on a completely different team where I didn't have the emotional attachment to the people. But I feel this may be something I might have to deal with, and I just don't know how to handle it.
Hey, guess what? What you just
Yes, sir.
said is the same exact thing that you should say to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what you
Okay.
just expressed is the same exact thing, right? Because they're going to support you. They know you, right? You're in a unique situation in having people that know you. Like when I go into a place, it's with a bunch of people that don't know me, and so they don't have to spare my feelings whatsoever. But with a group of people that you know and you have a relationship with, I am going to assume that you've been a nice person to them, that you've been good to them overall, and that they have no problem with supporting you and seeing you grow into this great scrum master, great agile coach that you're going to grow into. It's just that you just let them know I'm learning and give me feedback. Help me out. I want to be the best that I can be for you. And what I always say to people, Melon, is I want to make you the best you that I can help you become, right? Because people will, when you sow seeds into people, it is always a good thing because it grows at some point. It may not be immediate, but it will grow at some point, right? And, it's one of those things when you think about the relationship that you and I have, for example, right? I'm sowing
Right.
seeds into you because I expect those seeds to grow. And the biggest thing that I would tell you to do, Melon, if I had one solid piece of advice for you, is one, um, do Scrum on you.
Okay.
Sometimes I say this during class, but I'm a big proponent. When I went to USAA, I had left Capital One. I was 2 years in a Scrum, so I'd done Scrum a little bit, right? But I was really young, and I was intimidated by folks. So what I did is I did 1 day sprints on me. Went in the morning, sprint planning, lunchtime, daily Scrum, evening, sprint review, sprint retrospective. It was mostly combined, right? So then I
Mhm.
can figure out what I need to do every day to get better. Okay. Now, understand what I'm saying. I'm asking you to work on getting yourself better every day. You're
Yeah.
working with the team because what's going to happen is it's going to be like something like this. You're going to have sprint planning and you're going to say, you know what? I could have taught that a little bit differently, or I could have done this a little differently, or I could
Right.
have done that a little differently. And those little nuggets that you're taking that's happening over time, that you're learning, you're going to improve on just step by step, bit by bit, little piece by little piece. So, literally, when I say to you, I have 15 coaches. I actually was talking to one of my colleagues, well, one of my person that I work with, because I ended up leaving Capital One and getting to USA, and they hired me the same day. I mean, they literally hired me the
Mhm.
same day. Morning, I had an interview. Afternoon, they was like, "Come on in, come, we want you," right? And so I moved from Richmond on down to San Antonio, and he remembered me carrying Mumbles around. I don't know. Some of y'all have seen my penguin, right? And I would carry Mumbles around the actual building. I literally carried this stuffed animal around the entire building. I don't know if you've seen Mumbles before, but you've
Yeah.
you've seen Mumbles, right? And
Yeah.
I did that because that was a security blanket for me.
Right.
I'm an introvert. Most people don't believe that, but I'm an introvert at heart. And with me being an introvert at heart, it means I'm not willing to jump out there. I need to take steps back. I need to find ways to get my energy back. I need to do all those things. And so, literally, me carrying around Mumbles was my security blanket. Okay. It was my
Mhm.
way of having this token alongside of me to kind of put those fears into, because
Mhm.
I was afraid of executives. I was afraid of people who had a better position than me or a title than me, right? I was a little nervous about those things because I just wasn't used to it, right? When I first got into Scrum Melon, I was fortunate because I had this guy, and I'll mention him by his name. His name is Tom Meller, right? When I worked at State Farm, right? He ended up being the director of the Scrum Alliance once Ken Schwaber left it. And what happened is he was so dogmatic about doing Scrum at State Farm, and all I did was get on his wing. I didn't know what to do,
Mm.
right? This guy's crazy. I'm thinking to myself, he's crazy. He gonna take on this whole company, and he's gonna change this whole company, and they don't even want to change. But I was able to get on this wing, right? And when I got on this wing, it helped build that confidence. And my title wasn't Scrum Master. My title was Project Planner. I went on to Capital
Mm.
One. My title wasn't Scrum Master. My title was Agile Project Manager. And I was able to kind of latch on to a couple people there when Capital One was doing this big transformation in 2006, 2007. And then when I went to USAA, they put me on a team with two people. They gave me two teams. And those had two female project managers that was trying to get me fired every day. It was literally every day. And they was just trying to get me
Mm.
fired because they didn't want to do something that was different. And
Mm.
what I had to realize is they weren't upset at me. They just didn't want to change. The culture wasn't trying to change. So even though I was like, we're doing Scrum, in the culture, they was just like, we're gonna do this the same, and this the same, and this the same, and this the same, and we're gonna do everything the same, and still do Scrum. And that doesn't make any sense. And so
Right.
now, what you got to do as a newbie is you got to go ahead and you got to start with that gradual process of knowing you're going to make mistakes, right? Knowing it is tough to jump out there, knowing that your heart is just pounding when you first go into that first event, right?
Mhm.
Knowing all those things are going to happen to you. That first retrospective, you might have some difficulty, right? But guess what? Once you get that first one done, it's like the first night you bring a baby home.
Mhm.
Once you get the first night done, it's kind of better the second night,
Yep.
and so it's one of those things where I have 6 kids, right?
Mm.
Everybody don't know that, but I got 6 kids, and with having 6 kids, they all have different personalities, and there's always things that I got to do that's different. And guess what I use on them, Melon? Scrum.
Scrum. Yep.
I use Scrum, right? And when I think about my willingness to take risk, I think about my ability to do things, how I want to change or act or whatever it is. I always go back to my fears because with my first kid, the fear that I had was in holding the kid because I never,
Mm.
growing up, I never would hold anybody's kids, not until they knew how to say my name. Then I'd officially hold them. When they knew how to say my name, then I'd officially talk to them, right? So that was my whole way of getting them out of not holding anybody's kids. And I had all types of people that had kids around me. So I got away from it by doing that, right?
Mhm.
But me holding my baby for the first time, man, that changed. Then it became easier the second time and easier
Right.
the third time. So all you really have to do, Melon, is you have kids, you've had nervousness on that and other things before. You're just going to have to go ahead and bite the bullet and do it. No, no, I'm not going to be perfect. No, I am going to make a mistake or two. Know that those kind of things are going to happen. You can't get away from that. It is human to err. And so, if you're going to have heirs, the best thing that you can have in a world is a support system, and you have a better benefit than most other people that are jumping into the world of Scrum. I always say to people because I get a lot of people that want to jump into Scrum and actually change jobs, do this, do that, and that's fine, that's okay. But it is so much of a benefit to be around a team that knows you.
Yep.
You know,
I have a great team, and then I think this is a kind of an upside of COVID. I'm in my own
mhm,
home, in my own environment,
yeah.
and even though we're respectful and have our cameras on, it's fine. But I think this is a good, safe place for me to do it now. Maybe it all turned out for the best.
No, 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 no. It's no maybe. I need you to
It
let
has
go.
it.
Right. I need you to let go of. I need you to let go of the not so positive thinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is something that a self. I have to work on that a lot.
Well, and I want you to. Okay, now with you and me, I'll make it really personal. Okay, without making it really personal. You wrote me a letter, and you touched me. Now, for you to write a stranger out of the blue, you live. I don't even. I don't even go to your
Yeah.
coast. Like I don't go to your coast. Like you stay on the west coast, right? Okay.
Yes.
I don't go to your coast. I'm too afraid of getting swallowed up by an actual earthquake or something. You know, in Chicago, I'm from Chicago, but I live in Texas. You can run from you have a chance of running from a tornado. You got a chance. I got hit by a hurricane in Miami, so you got a chance of getting away from that because they let you know about that kind of stuff, right? Earthquakes you can't run from, right? So you can't run from that kind of stuff. So since you're on that coast, I'm not sure if it's gonna fall off the planet or whatever. But the idea though is you actually reached out to a stranger that you had no clue about that stranger whatsoever, and you were able to take that risk. Now understand,
Yeah.
you were able to take that risk. Now it may be a little bit anonymous, but I would say that is comparable. That is comparable to having people who you do know. Because the people that you do know, with the person that you are, I'm sure that you're a wonderful and lovely person to them. Okay? I am sure you are that to them. I am sure that they look at you and be like, you take care of us all the time. And part of being a scrum master is taking care of people. Taking care of people, right? Back in the day, I wanted to one thing that I've one thing that I've noticed um, is that when I go into an organization, people are always hesitant to do Scrum, be the first ones to do Scrum. But I also noticed in a conversation I was having with my guy this past week, last week, I'm assuming, um, he said to me and pointed out to me that everybody, and this is in 2007 when I went to USA, he said everybody that we work with in the beginning all have gotten major promotions over time. They're running major areas at this point. They're doing big stuff, or they've gone onto organizations and doing bigger stuff there. So I am always trying to make people's lives better. Okay. Um, put people in the best position I can put them in so they can go after whatever it is that they want to go after. So I say the same thing to you. You can do that for them. Now, that does mean that you sacrifice yourself a little bit. That does mean that, right? But all of us aren't looking to be the president of the company. All of us aren't looking to do all these different things. A lot of us are just looking to help other people.
Yeah.
And if you're genuinely looking to help other people, you are in an amazing position. You will be able to do great things for them, and they'll be super happy with everything that you do and the little mistakes that you make along the way. You'll beat
Yeah.
yourself up about it. You will. Okay, I
Yeah.
do that. No problem. Um, but just know this: you'll get better, and that's the key statement. I'm not. If I can go back to the Scrum Master from 2005 and think about my fears, think about what I did, all the things I didn't know, the questions I didn't know, not the right questions to ask, just all those things that I just wasn't aware of. If I can go back to that guy and show him me, he would be proud.
Mm.
And I have this firm belief that if you go back to you 10 years, 1 year, 1 year down the road, forget 1 year, 6 months down the road, I guarantee you, you will look and say to yourself, yeah, that was really, really amazing and good. So I think that you have a wonderful time ahead of you. And I'm going to say to you, we are going to be opening up since Black History Month is starting February 1. And since I'm black, native black, I am going to actually kick off the unfiltered community. And in that unfiltered community, I want you to join it and remain connected with us so then you have a support system. I want you to have a
Always.
support system. Okay. So on that note, Melon, I appreciate you. And I
I
know
appreciate you always. Yes. Thank
I
you
know
so much. Thank
you're
you
gonna
so much.
and look, you got my
Mm.
support. You got the support of the unfiltered community. So don't ever think you're out there by yourself, okay? So you make
Yeah.
sure you do it and then just come back and keep telling us, keep talking to us. I want you to come back on this show and talk about what kind of success you're having because I know
Okay.
you're going to have that, okay? Melon, I appreciate you. Anything
All right.
else?
I wore purple for you today.
That's a good thing. Got my purple hat. I got the bruz right there. So all day. So thank you. I appreciate you, okay?
Thank you.
I'll talk to you
Thank you
soon,
so much.
Melon. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. Yeah, y'all. That was an excellent call. Again, I know Melon will call back, again and again and again. And I encourage everybody, one of the big problems I've always had is having a support system. And when I first started Scrum, I really didn't have a support system. Okay. I kind of found ways to build my support system, but please, 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 whatever you do, make sure you have a support system. Because there are times when I want to cry and, you know, get a little emotional. I'm not going to get emotional here, but there's times I want to do that. And it's good to have people to do that with. Okay. So it is amazing thing, right? I see people having good comments here.